let me tell you about the hardest thing that I've done. Oh God, I have trauma from this one. You can thank a guy named Brian Johnson, aka Liver King. Okay, this guy, psychopath. Love him. Great guy to be around. Extremely successful businessman. Very motivating. He does this thing called the Barbarian. You have 15-pound on ankle weights on each leg, 15-pound or 70-pound backpack, 150, 140-pound sled, and holding 70-pound kettlebells. And it's 112 degrees outside in Texas, and it's August or July or something. And you have to go through the sand. So like sand gives resistance as you pull. It's digging itself into the ground, so it's torturous. So it's like if you do the math, it's like 315 pounds you're carrying. So like, and you have to go a mile. I've done it once with him. The first time I met him, and we did it on flat gravel. I did it in an hour in 20 something minutes. I beat him by an hour. I was like, what the hell just happened, bro? That was like, okay, that was one of the hardest things I've done. Not the hardest. Then I do the second challenge a year later. He invites me back. He's like, I want you to do the Barbarian Crucible. I'm like, this sounds terrible, but I'm in. I'm all for stupid things that I'm going to have to put myself through. That's why I literally have like scars from this. And we do this about a quarter mile in. I was like already having a first heat stroke. And I was like, I was like, bro, this is next level. Cause it's through sand. It's through dirt. It's through,
it's the same thing.
Same exact thing. Same mile. Just the course is 10 times harder.
Right.
And last time he did it, it was a competition. So you kind of have that like, let me chase you feeling. This time he's just chilling. He's smoking his cigar, drinking his whiskey, calling the walkie-talkie guy next to me, talking shit. And I'm like, I told him, I said, I will finish this. And this goes back to my like almost stupid belief in myself, to where I do things that hurt myself because I'm like, I'm not going to fail. I'm not going to stop. So I psychotically do this for like, let's say 3/4 of the mile. And I get to the sand. It's like first half, it's just gravel and dirt and stuff. Hard, but not the worst. Sand at like last 0.4 miles. And I get to this point where I'm now full on having a heat stroke. I'm freezing. It's 112 degrees outside. It makes no sense. I've sweat all water out. Now I'm covered in white because like my like electrolytes are just on me. And I'm like, I'm dying. I look at their producers and stuff. I'm like, bro, I'm done.
Were you allowed water?
I was allowed to drink water. They were pouring a ton of water on me, but like nothing was working. And I look at their producer and I'm like, I'm done. I'm going to, they said, if you unclip, you're done. I'm about to unclip. And they're like, don't do it. And I'm like, I'm stupid. I'm good at being told what to do, like, and still doing it. And I'm like, okay, you said don't do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to keep going. I go. Next heat stroke on the ground, laying there for 30 minutes. I'm like, my soul has left my body. I know I don't have sweat left in my body. I'm covered. I lick my lips. It's salty. Like, I needed some of this stuff. Great plug.
Yep.
But I get to a point where I'm like, dude, I have 0.15 left of a mile. Like, I have to just finish this. Same thing in the marathon. Like, if I don't, I'm just gonna be pissed. Once I feel better, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yep.
And I somehow slug my way to the end. 5 steps drop, 5 steps drop, 5 steps drop. I'm like dead in the face. I get there, I cross the finish line, I just collapse on the ground. And he's like, yeah, there you go, brother. And he's like, yeah, boy. He says that. So he's like, let it the fuck out. He has all these sayings. They're just psychotic. And I'm laying there, and safe to say, it took me 4 hours. 4 hours to go a mile. And that was the most painful thing I've ever done in my life. So when I did the marathon, I just kept thinking about that. And I was like, that was 4 hours of way more pain. This is 4 hours of a different pain. My legs have never had so much lactic acid in my body, but my upper body is perfectly fine. My mind can push through this. But with Liver King, it's like your arms are tired, your legs are tired, your soul, you can't even feel your soul because you're so dehydrated. It was a crazy experience.
What have you learned about resilience to physical discomfort from the challenges and things that you've done?
I've learned that you can push your body so much farther than you'd ever think. Something that I learned at Lehigh, we had a Navy SEAL course come to us. And so I hated everything about Lehigh. School, the guys were cool. The coaches were always nice to me, but like the program didn't want to do it. All that stuff sucked. When they brought in Navy SEALs and made us stay up for 50 hours, favorite thing. I was depressed at the time. Fucking loved it. Way better than whatever we were doing before. So it was like this weird, everyone else hated it. I was like, I don't know why. That was the best part of my month. And we do this. Oh, dude, I'm like remembering this shit. It's crazy. Okay, I'm like 18. I'm like I'm like 180 pounds right now. I was probably almost 200, just meat stick, bro. Fucking 4,500 calories a day. And they make us do perfect jumping jacks, perfect sit-ups, perfect push-ups. One person messes up, everyone is required to call that one person out, basically make them feel like shit. And then everyone runs because of it. We do that for 4 hours straight. They say, go home, get 1 hour of sleep. We go home, we fucking lay down, we get right back up. We're in a pool at 3 a.m. They say, put your sweatsuits on. Full crew neck, full sweatpants. These sweatpants are like double XL that we're wearing. And they're like, jump in the pool. And I'm like, what the fuck? And they're like, if you can't swim, go to the shallow end. Like dead ass. They said this to us. And I was like, someone's going to die. We go in and they're like, okay, we're going to do the push-ups, the sit-ups, the everything on the outside of the pool. We're soaking wet. We're doing them. We're calling out people for not doing it right. And you're held accountable. If you don't call, if they see someone and say, and you don't go, hey, Johnny over here didn't do his push-up right. Now you're fucked. Now you get called out. So it's everybody's calling out each other and just saying like, you suck. You're horrible. Very traumatizing for some people. You should see the faces on these people where I'm going to die. And then we go in the pool and we're like, okay, now we're going to do basically like a deep end simulation thing where you have to take off your sweatshirt, you have to switch with somebody and then put it on. It's some Navy SEAL training. Don't know the name of it, but wild experience. That you're treading and you're in like, picture like so much resistance on your legs and you're like 40 pounds, 20 pounds heavier with this like weighted clothes on you and you're trying to swim and everyone's like, and you're trying to like, hey, you got this. You're talking each other up and they're like, all right, everyone take off your sweatshirt. And you have to go on a ready attack call. So like everyone's on the exact same page and you take it off and you're treading at one arm. You have to hold it up with one arm until everybody is ready. And it takes 2 minutes at least to get these things off. It's like stuck to you. Kids don't know what they're doing. Some kids literally are being held up by other people. I shouldn't say kids. We were like adults at this time and we're treading. And then it's like ready attack, switch with somebody. You switch. Now ready attack, put it on. So think of like a wet rag, like stuck together and you're like trying to like find the opening and you're treading still for like, we're at like minute 8 of treading. And then we put it on and we're like all just dying. Some kids are near drowning, like genuinely just 2 people holding their arms up and they're like, their head is barely above the water. And if they don't complete it, restart. We did like 4 rounds of this thing. And they'd look at the team captain and go, how quick can you do it? And they wanted to push the hell out of us. And the team captain says something like 2 minutes. Okay, do it again. They look at him again. You did it 150. How quick can you do it? 130. They're like, all right, 130. You did it 125. How quick are you doing? All right, 120. We do it. We get all the way down to like 115, 120. And we've been treading water for like 40 freaking minutes. Cause in between, maybe you get like a quick put the shoulder on something, but you're back. Crazy experience. And that is pre-YouTube challenge. So like doing that, definitely showed me like, you're capable of so much. Those SEALs that day were like, listen, when you think you're done, not just like, oh, I'm tired, I'm done. When you think you're truly done, you have 40% left in the tank. And you need to tell yourself that every single time when you're on the field, when you think you're done, 40% left. Keep pushing. And I was like, damn, I'm going to live by that. And like, obviously I'm not a Navy SEAL by any means or anything, but like that stuck with me. And when I get in those moments, I think there's still 40, like that still sticks with me, 40% left. When I'm at my marathon and I'm at mile 24, still 40% left, sadly.
Yeah. I wonder, again, how many people would benefit from really formative experiences like that? You know, it's such an opportunity for you to do it as a college athlete, but most people get out of that. You know, I hear about these alpha boot camp things that are happening.
I know the owners.
And there's a bunch of them. Bedros has been on the show, Julian, if you know him. And it's kind of easy to mock online because the storyline tells you too much. It's just way too easy of a headline where someone says, man pays $10,000 to have dude with beard and full sleeve shout at him while he doesn't sleep. You know, it's a funny headline. But when you actually look at what those kinds of formative experiences maybe teach you, and the fact that you got to learn that at 18, the reason that that people think it's a bit cringe, and it might be cringe, I'm not too sure. The reason that people think it's a bit cringe is, why are you at 45 needing this? And you go, well, what if you've never had it before?
Exactly.
What if you've never pushed yourself to that place before? Normal person, at what point in your life are you going beyond that 40% line that you think is your normal one? You know, even someone that runs a marathon, if they're preparing for 6 months or a full year for it, it should be a relatively sure thing unless you've got some sort of weird pathology and your heart blows up halfway.
Yeah.
It's a difficult and impressive, but relatively. And then you go, okay, what about an Ironman? Well, okay, even with that, the point is that you're training to be able to do the thing.
Yeah.
It would be almost like,
I see what you're saying.
You're
doing something that you're almost not prepared for, to
Yes.
torture yourself so much that you will gain a much more valuable lesson than if you
Correct.
prepared for it.
Yeah, of course.
Which
Yes.
is crazy.
Yes.
And going through that, I'm very great. This is where the moments where I then look back at my dad setting me up in these situations where I'm like, thank you so much for, even though it was rocky at times, thank you so much for making me go do this, because there's a reason I'm in the position I am. There's a reason I can handle so much. And there's a reason that I can push myself so much. And it all falls back to being in the rain, the hail, the snow, him throwing the ball a million times. And I'm like, why are we doing this? It all makes sense now. And the way Liver King is why it's why I respect him so much. And yes, he has had his scandals, but as a man, and you could argue this because he lied, whatever. As a man that I know, as he's like a friend of mine, I see his sons, and then I see the way he is with them and how it was similar to my father. And the way that he pushes them, and the way that my dad pushed me, and I told them, and I said, I know it might not make sense now what your dad is doing, and how you got to do the barbarian, you got to, be strict with your diet or whatever. I'm like, it's gonna give it 10 years, you're gonna thank him, and I promise they will. I won't say I promise, but 99%, there might be 1% chance that they will. And that's like one of those things where doing hard things is so necessary. And I think even if you're 45, I mean, what age did Warren Buffett become a billionaire or a millionaire? Wasn't it like 40 or 50 years? It took a long time. Oh, let's make fun of his freaking self for why weren't you a millionaire younger, bro? Like, no, he's a billionaire now. Like, it doesn't matter what time you start, what age you start. I think the fact is that not everyone has the opportunity to go to a D1 lacrosse program on a scholarship and have a dad push them and care for them that much, with that he wants to put him in that scenario where you end up going do those things and learn those lessons at 18. It's unrealistic.
Some people do have to learn lessons in adulthood that they should have learned in childhood. And,
we all do. There's a million lessons to learn.
And it is very strange in a world where we want people to be more resilient. There is an odd amount of sort of teasing and pity and mocking for people that take stuff seriously when they get into later life. And you go, okay, it's not far off the developmental equivalent of mocking a fat person going to the gym.
Yep.
You go, the exact thing that they need is the thing that they're trying to do.
Yep.
Trust really is everything when it comes to supplements. A lot of brands may say that they're top quality, but few can actually prove it, which is why I partnered with Momentus. They make the highest quality supplements on the planet. They're literally unparalleled when it comes to rigorous third-party testing. What you read on the label is what's in the product and absolutely nothing else. 3 of my favorite products that I've been using to support my brain, body, and sleep are omega-3s, Tonkat Ali, and magnesium L-threonate that all help to support cognitive performance, optimal hormone function, and better sleep. They don't just claim third-party tested like a lot of other brands. What you read on the label is what you're putting in your body and absolutely nothing else. Best of all, they ship internationally and offer a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you're not sure, you can buy them, try them, and if you do not like them, they will give you your money back. Right now, you can get a 20% discount off everything site-wide by going to the link in the description below or heading to livemomentus.com/modernwisdom using the code modernwisdom at checkout. That's livemomentus.com/modernwisdom and modernwisdom at checkout. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you enjoyed that clip with Jesse, you'll love the full-length conversation right here. Go on.